Ooh, did you see it? That looked fancy. Anyways, that gave me a moment to actually mess around with some technology, and you didn't have to watch me hit all the buttons for Instagram because I should be live both. Yay! The future is now, everybody. Welcome. Merry Yule, Merry Christmas, Merry Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is. Happy Joy is the message I'm trying to send there. It's been a year. And I hope and I expect 2026 to just continue to be a year, but maybe with a different sort of emphasis on the exclamation point there at the end. So if you're just jumping in, hey, hi, welcome. If you've never been here, thank you for joining. If you're one of the people that keep showing up, thank you for being you. If you've never been on here, hi, how are you? I'm Tori. I'm the sales director at Paradise Marketing, but I go by Condom Charmer because if I don't brand myself, somebody else does. That's a whole other conversation. But I started this little live stream podcast diddly thing here, I think almost about 2 years ago now, maybe even more. I could count, but I haven't gotten to that. Mostly because no one was talking about what I wanted to talk about. And now here I am, festivities and all. Oh, I do need to show off the sweater here. Where are my book talk people? He. Oh my God, is that not so cute? Anyways, started this web stream because as a person who's been in the decade for more, been in the industry for more than a decade, primarily I was doing liquids, lubricants, lotions, and potions before I started doing the condom charming. And I've just had the opportunity to learn so many things. And in part of that, I wanted to share the knowledge. So here I am, blabbing. Welcome to my musings and a little daily called Tuesdays with Tori. So if you're part of the internet, the ether that I speak to weekly, thank you again for being here. There'd be no show, there'd be no condom charmer, there'd be no nothing. So in a year of reflection, I had the great opportunity. If you've been hanging on the stream before, you might have heard me mentioning the Woodhull Foundation. And I won't spoil it, right? Stay tuned for the interview, right? But a friend of mine, Mandy Salley, she's the CEO over there, and the Woodhull Foundation does so much just above and beyond just mentorship and sexual education. And we're talking they're fabulous. So her and I couldn't get our schedules to sync. Welcome to being like crazy busy and the holidays and Q4, right? I'll say it again. If you're in sales, Q4 means so many things. So this next part is pre-recorded, but I needed to show off all the cuteness here and do my quick little interview. This is me talking to Mandy Salley. And oh my goodness, you're going to enjoy it. But also, hello, if you missed any of the, what do we call press releases, but they're more like an e-blast. I'll post it here in a minute. There was a great looking one. Oh, here, let me go find it because I have technology. There is a fun little announcement that Paradise is going to be hosting a happy hour at the upcoming XBIZ show. I can't wait. It's so exciting. Also, stay tuned. If you're somebody that's going to figure it out or you found the Easter eggs, stay tuned. Hold on. Bringing up my cuteness, whatever cuteness of today. I can screen share on this thing. Bam! Look at this. Oh, so festive with my background paper too. Didn't realize. So if you don't know what the XBIZ sort of expo is coming up here in the next few weeks, that's a whole other episode. I did have Ariana and Sarah to talk about it, so let me know. I can shoot that one over through. But it does sprinkle a little mention here that we're doing a really exciting showcase, hosting a happy hour on Saturday the 10th. So, be there or be square or whatever it is the cool kids say, right? I'll figure it out. I have kids. They keep me cool. Without further ado, let's go jump to my interview with Mandy, because again, the future is now and I'm figuring out my technology. Hope you enjoy it. I love speaking with her. On a live. I might actually go back and clip some things, but also maybe not.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, but that's exciting. I got the female fantasy. I'm going to check it out because that sounds incredible.
Very quick.
What else are you reading right now?
Well, I'm reading The God of the Woods. That's the one I'm reading right now. I just finished. Have you ever seen the show Somebody Somewhere on HBO?
No, I've not seen it, but I've seen it like pop up.
It's
the impressions. Sweet. I have an impression.
Yeah. So one of the actors from that won an Emmy this year, Jeff Hiller, and I've just finished his memoir, which is very funny. I like to read memoirs by comedians because they're funny.
Yeah, because at least they have some humor. That's what I used to like about Chelsea Handler books is they were slightly funny. She's in a different path on her journey now. So I think I didn't finish the last one because it was in 2020. So it was very politically charged and a lot about her journey in therapy, which I'm just like, wow, that's really brave. Thank you for sharing. But I had that like, haha, Chelsea going to go get famous stories. Like I was still wanting to in my head, right?
Yeah. And I know it is tough. I do this thing too, where I like read for fun. Absolutely. And listen.
No, well, I do read some smart things. Ooh, if you haven't read this one, I recommend.
Yeah. What is it? Let me know.
Hold, please.
What do you got? Power.
Oh, wrong side. It's the 48 Laws of Power. Have you seen it?
Okay.
Dude, no. This book's banned in other countries, and I get it. It's like, here's the first rule, right? Never outshine the master. Rule number 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Like, this is obviously not what to do in relationships.
Is it Tiago Pereira? Is that the author?
No, Robert Greene. Okay. 48 Laws of Power.
Oh, Laws of Power. Okay, got it. Right, Laws of Power. I put Rules of Power.
I probably said rules, but they're laws. My bad.
I got it. Here it is. Okay, cool.
It takes a little bit to get through because it's not that exciting, but like, I just did like a chapter a day.
Yeah.
I found it to be a trip, like a major trip, like, because just the stories they bring up and, they're talking more historical events on how people behave in, military and other things like that. But I'm like, dude, it's just the behavior of people and like what people expect in, especially in like a work setting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Are you on Goodreads or Storygraph?
I'm on Goodreads, but I'm hearing I need to switch. What is the thing that everybody likes now? Fable?
Well, I haven't been on Fable, but I like Storygraph because Storygraph like makes you these really fun like charts and graphs about so I mean I'm a total nerd, but like
like visual representations. I love it.
So like you can, I don't know if you can see.
Okay, but you've got like a little bar graph of your last 6.
So that's like all the genres I read.
Oh,
and then that's like page number, audiobook, and it tells you like all these like fiction, nonfiction.
Oh, that's way cooler.
Yeah, it's cool.
Then I got my wrap on Goodreads, but also I'm like, dang it, did I add that book? And did I add that book? I'm just like behind on it, but it was. I like when they give me the Spotify wraps, the Goodreads wrap. Like this, but they don't. I don't get charts like that.
Yeah, this is cool. It's called. I'll put the name. It's called Storygraph. I really like it. Because I like to see I also like it makes you this chart at the end of the year that shows you like what months you read more and less. And I don't know, it's just interesting for me to see. I'm like, oh, what,
No, I do like that. I am one of those nerds that still tries to, and it's mostly just for my mental health, right? Where it's like, especially now, it's my hibernation time, right? Because seasonal depression's a thing, but also it's a new year is coming. So I'm like, okay, I actually do try. What was it? I read this other book. Oh, so turned into these nerds long time ago called The Dream Manager, right? And it's the idea, not necessarily that how to be a dream manager, but that someone at the company was in charge of managing people's dreams, which sounds really strange, but in the fact that I was like, okay, well, what is it that you'd like to do? Oh, I want to take a month off of work and just read all my books, right? And so this person would be like, okay, let's start coming up with a financial plan for you to do that. And so they were like the dream manager. And one of the things that they say that they tell everybody to do is you just get like whatever journal and anything you want to do, you write it down and then go back and be like, did I do it? Or do I still want to do that? So for me, being able to change goals, like I would get so kind of like honed in on like, this was what I said I was going to do, even if it doesn't service me anymore. So it really gave me that aha moment of like, I can, you know, go change my mind if I want to.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. Sometimes I get hard on myself when I don't accomplish something the way I wanted it to or whatever. But
yeah, that the whole people are like, learn how to manage your stress. But then it's like the stress is slowly killing you. And then you stress out about how to manage it, right? When that like cortisol is in your system, I'm like, how do you make it go away? Like, no bear's coming to chase me, body. Thank you for trying to protect me. But this is the corporate condom show. What is it that you want me to do?
Yeah, I know. It's like I was at a doctor's appointment and we were like talking about stress, and my doctor's like, have you gone on a walk in nature lately? And I was like,
this is
well,
where's nature?
Yeah, I was like, I live in New York City, but I try, you know, but like, you know, and then you're thinking, you're like, oh, maybe I do need to go, like, I don't know, sit in the grass somewhere and just like dissociate or something.
My coworker Jen calls it, you got to go air out. I'm like, that's so true. I have to leave the desk for a minute and just like breathe fresh air.
Yeah. It's harder now because it's like so cold.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard today for me to get out of nature. It's like raining.
Oh, gross.
And like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's not like cold enough for it to be like cool snow, but it's just kind of like,
yeah, it's just shitty. It's like you don't want to be out in it. Yeah.
Although I'm still kind of, because I had no weather in Arizona, really, like it's just hot. It's still kind of nice to be like, I get to wear my whole wardrobe occasionally because there is weather.
This is
crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
So we were saying offline, now this is me recording, that it was like, when was the last time we got together? Even though I'm loving catching up. I was like, it was September 2024. Yeah. So that's where I'm like, okay, this is a good, like, we need to catch up because, you know, people just, connection, I think is important. And I work at home. It is important. And sometimes even my stupid little show keeps me accountable and still social. Because as much as it's great to work at home, I also just moved. So I don't have a lot of like local familiarity. Well, not just in March, but still that's like, but then it's like, I work here and I clean here and I live here. You know what I mean? It gets very like, I don't want to be in these walls anymore. So having a reason, like, thank you for being my dopamine today. It's like, hey, but I am excited about taking this call. And even though it is still about like business and stuff, it's just a little bit like, it's still exciting. You got to have something that is still fun in your job.
100%, particularly when you work in human rights and advocacy in the United States in the year 2025. I'm reaching deep for the fun, you know?
And it really is that fake it till you make it. It's right, but it's not right. There's a whole, you need to train your brain that I'm still figuring out how to hack, right? So it's like, you really do have to be like optimistically positive for no reason so that your mood will follow. Like you don't just wake up happy.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
There's an activist. I think it's Miriam Kaba who said this. I could be misattributing this, but she says, hope is a discipline. And I really ascribe to that. You know, it's like there are days where it is hard to be hopeful. It's hard to feel like, can this work like have an impact? Are things going to change? Particularly at the speed of the news cycle these days. I mean, it just feels like we're getting hit with something all the time. And this hope is a discipline I really like because it's like, it forces you to like practice it, right? As opposed to just, hope just exists. No, it's like, no, you actually have to do something to continue to have hope be like a presence in the work in your life. And so I've been chanting that to myself quite a bit this year.
I added that to but look at what it's on my Post-it. This is the Post-it that I'm cheating on, like trying to manifest my brain. I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me. Right. That's from like whatever the lucky girl, you manifest it because it's going to work out. It has to. You can't just like the time cycle will continue. It's just letting yourself believe it's going to work out. It might not look how you wanted it to. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't look how I imagine it. So, you know, maybe just remember that it's going to work out. And hope is
definitely going to work out. And hope is a discipline.
Hope is a discipline.
And pleasure is a human right. That's another one I like to repeat to myself a lot.
No, I love that. Let's get into it for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So hi, Mandy is here and she's fantastic. And you're with the Woodhull Foundation, which I'll let you talk about all the amazing things they do, but not limited to advocacy for sexual freedom. Anything that's a human rights issue for the most part. And we're just talking like this is the creme de la creme of foundations. We're talking collaboration, advocacy, education, and a lot of it around sexual freedom and the censorship and the discrimination, right? That's sort of these topics entail, right? I mean, there's a whole bigger conversation and all of that, but it is something that I definitely, as a person that I sell condoms for a living, right? And, you know, I still get a little like, oh, right? It's a huge profession. And it's like, at least in my side, it's a medical necessity. And anybody else in the pleasure space, there's a market for these things. People are using them and want them. Why are we not doing the best that we can? Why are we not reaching out for more resources? Most of the time, because we don't know, right? No one knows what they don't know, but you know, it's a lot of the same. Maybe not all of the same things, but some of the work that you're doing is a lot of the same work that I know a lot of the pleasure professionals are trying to do as well. Instead of trying to think everybody's a competitor, it's like the same things. There's a whole age verification situation if you're in pleasure products, which I'm sure you've heard about. And I'm like, you think that's going to affect you, people here in the business? You know, it's a huge thing. So how are we getting the resources we need to? How are we being like good community members when stuff like this pops up? A few years ago, Paradise Marketing lost their work comp insurance out of nowhere. They just sent us an email like, oh, by the way, we realize you're doing adult things, like it's illegal, which it's not.
No, it isn't. And I also think, you know, I would imagine another area where this industry has a lot of problem is with payment processing. And I know
a lot of bank discrimination.
A lot of banking discrimination. A lot of like folks don't realize the power that the payment processors have. You know, we at Woodhull, we've kind of dubbed it like financial discrimination, right? Because as a business, you have to make money, right? And if you can't collect money, you know, how are you going to make money? How are you going to pay your employees, pay your bills, people feed their families?
It's almost like what you're trying to stop ends up putting people in the situation that they will go and find illegal means to do things. Instead of, you know, walking into a safe store and asking for education. Sorry, no, I can't even take a payment process. Or right. I don't get work comp insurance anymore because I sell condoms.
It's ridiculous. And it's also like, you know, the nature of the world right now too is like everything's so digital, right? And so I know like so many people have had to figure out, one, if you were like a traditionally brick and mortar sort of business, how do I make this viable online? And then to have like the additional challenge of like, oh, because I sell sex toys or condoms or adult products or whatever,
lube, lingerie, even if you're not Victoria's Secret, then somehow you're not legit. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and it's so frustrating because it's like, you can be Victoria's Secret and not have these issues. But if you're like a small, like, you know, maybe you're like a feminist owned small lingerie company, or I know there's a lot of really cool, like gender neutral lingerie companies out there. You know, you don't have the mega corporation to fight against.
Right. Isn't that supposed to be like the point? This is not me being political or anti-capitalist or pro-capitalist, right? But I'm just saying, isn't one of the main points of living in America is your right to do the business. If you have an opportunity, you see a market, you can create a business and you can make money on it, and that can be your living. Except if it's something squirrely, right? So it's like, what is squirrely? No, we run into the same problems. Like again, I'm not trying to bash on anybody, but as far as like we were talking about the socials, it seems like you're not legitimate if you don't have a big social media presence. in a business, which that's a whole other can of worms. I'm still working on that. But, you know, people like that will pay the big monies, like Laylo, right? Very, very high-end premium sex toy line. They're advertising on WeTransfer. But like I get shadow banned because I maybe talk about how to put on a condom. One time I got banned and I actually was feeling spicy. So I did the things. They thought my elbow was a nipple.
It is so, it's so wild to me and it's so frustrating. And it's also really frustrating to me when I see like Kim Kardashian, not to hate on Kardashians, you can feel however you want about them, but when she goes on there and she's posting all these teeny tiny bikini pics or like whatever and has these millions and millions of followers, no problem.
Did you see her panties with the pubic hair?
Bush? Yes. Yep. No problem there.
I mean, hey, you got a market and you could sell it. Great.
Yeah. And but it's frustrating because then you have, and I've been told this so many times by companies in the adult space or even like content creators, sex educators who follow the community guidelines like to a T. Like they actually read them, which is really a feat in and of itself, right? Because it's like a novel to read the community guidelines.
And it's not a fun novel.
No. Oh my God.
There's no villain that's going to burn down the world for me in this.
No, nor is there a dashing hero that is going to come like, you know,
none of
ravish
it.
you at
no,
the end of it.
This is just don't do this. Don't do this. I own you.
Right.
Don't do that. Da, da, da.
Right. But it's like, even you follow it, right? They go through all of that to a T and still get banned. And there's no like recourse. There's no like calling Meta to say, hey, your bot's messed up. They banned me unnecessarily, whatever. And we also, you know, I mean, there's like a sort of like larger societal problem because LGBTQ plus groups are getting kicked off, reproductive justice, abortion access groups are getting kicked off these platforms.
Oh, and we started selling the morning after pill, not Plan B, but there's a pill that is called, like they trademarked it, the morning after pill, and just having to sell it to my normal batch of people. It's like, oh my God, I can't carry the abortion pill. It's not. There's a different one. It uses a completely different hormone situation, right? Mm-hmm. Again, people don't know what they don't know, but just to, you know, it's funny. You have to deal with people's bias. So even people who have been in the like own stores or even Jack Shacks are like, oh God, I can't have that. And I was like, no, you can and you should. With the condoms is a different thing, right? Yeah. So that's again how important education is, not just in sexual education or human rights or age verification, but this is me turning into a mom. I'm constantly telling my 8-year-old and my 12-year-old, it's like, cool, you don't want to know, you don't want to learn long division, you don't think that's important. Great, but guess what? People take advantage of people who don't know these things.
Yeah.
Period.
For sure.
Period.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, you know, the other problem we run into is people don't learn about these things until they've been affected by them. And by that point, it's like almost too late, right? Like age verification has been around. First law passed in 2022 in Louisiana. So not ancient history, but it's been around a minute, right? But now people are finally starting to see it like impact their daily life. And I'm seeing now people like in an uproar, you know?
Yeah, not just yes, I'm 18. A lot of the age verification stuff that's going into into circulation here is going to involve a lot more than that just to sell a condom.
Yeah, like hand over your license. Yeah. And I just get so like, call me a tin hat person. That's fine.
I don't need to know more than you already know.
Right. But I get so paranoid. I'm like, I do not want to give my information to the internet. Like not that kind of information. We've all had an experience at this point where we've like gotten the email from some service or some bank or whatever. Hey, our system's been hacked. FYI, you know, you made a purchase here, whatever. I'm like, I do not feel safe putting my information out there. And the problem with age verification is there's no way with the technology exists right now to really keep our data safe, nor do we have any legal protections for our digital information in the US. So I just get really nervous about these laws. And I think like two things are going to happen. One, you're going to have people who are like, no big deal. I'll just put in my information, whose information is going to get hacked, stolen, identity theft, all the things. And then I think you're going to have another segment of people who are like, well, I'm not doing that. And then they're just going to lose access to large portions of information and the internet, which is how we get the majority of our information these days,
Yep.
So it's a problem on many levels. And
it's hard to be a human on that level.
Yeah.
Like, people are predisposed to just troll you and spend it's like it's somehow rewarded to spend your energy in a negative, hating way. Then, like, hey, why don't you spend your energy on something else then, right? For you, instead of cutting down another person. And I know, right? Like, as someone who also has to handle their depression, I get it. There's like a heavy blanket on you all the time, and it just gets a little easier to carry. So I understand, but also, why do you want to try and make other people feel that way? I've never understood it.
Yeah. I sort of follow the rule of, like, if I wouldn't say this thing to this person's face, I'm not going to put it in the comment section.
I think that's just being a good human again.
Yeah.
Like,
but
my
I think,
parents
like,
all taught me, like, I don't know, tolerance.
People don't do that,
What is it? I think it's Marcus Aurelius. It was like, everything that comes out of your mouth should be true, but not everything true needs to come out of your mouth.
I've never heard it said that way, but I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm sure I'm paraphrasing, but like, no, that makes sense. Like, you can still have your own thoughts, but you don't need to throw them out to everybody for the sole purpose of you want power over that person. That's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And I so appreciate, like, being here and being able to talk about these things with you, because I
Thank
think
you so much for coming.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, also, I feel like you and I could chit chat about lots of things for like hours. Hard to stay on
I think
task.
we're going to be book talkers now here soon. We'll talk about that later.
That's our next career. But I think there's this hesitation from folks, like, in the adult industry, pleasure industry, whatever, to, like, not want to talk about politics, right? And the thing that I've sort of been, like, yelling about for a long time is, like, one, I get it. I also don't really want to talk about politics. And
at this point, there's so much misinformation. There's so much happening, and it's really, at least for me, it's really hard for me to find both sides, right?
Yeah.
Like, where's the research to support both sides?
Yeah, it's really tough. And I also feel, and you can tell me if you feel this way or if I'm, like, totally off base, but I feel like sometimes folks who are working in the adult industry, working in pleasure products, whatever segment of the industry you're working in, it feels like they're a little adrift. Like, there's, like, this idea of, like, nobody's out there sticking up for us, and Woodhull and a couple other organizations, Free Speech Coalition, are out here.
Yeah.
But we're struggling, folks, because the tidal wave of, like, legislation and not even, like, legislation, just, like, bad attitudes, bad press, myths, misinformation, like you said, it's just, like, keeps increasing. And so we're feeling a little underwater in this area. And so I feel like if folks are seeing these headlines, they're seeing this legislation, they're, like, concerned about their industry. One, I want to know about it. Like, I want to know what you're seeing in your backyard, because we can't be everywhere, right? And two, we could really use your support, and so if folks are, I think people are in the US, like, right now, there's this feeling of, like, people are not really happy, right? The economy is rough. Regardless of, like, which political party you fall in, we're not,
holiday
like,
season now too, so that extra stress of, I need to come up with extra money to travel to see family or get gifts, or just I'm making a big dinner, like, it adds up.
And it's tough, and I think people are feeling stressed about it. And so, like, if folks are looking for a place to, like, either lend their talents, there's a ton of talent and innovativeness and ingenuity in this industry, or they're like, hey, I actually would like to give some of my dollars or give back, like, we're here. And we would love to, one, be the recipient of that, but also be able to stick up for folks in what feels like would be a really meaningful way.
Absolutely. No, what was it? We got with the royal we, me and my podcast of myself, was working with the Cupcake Girls. For a little bit. We did a show, and I was trying to, like, help do some fundraising there, and just the amount of information and the people that they've been able to help
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to branch you into the pleasure products a little bit more, because yeah, that's what it is. Like, people are so stuck in their business. Like, I got to make my calls. I got to push this new product, that they forget that there are other people out there, as you mentioned, advocating for you and trying to build all these skills. Because at some point, if the people who aren't in the industry right now don't realize we have an industry and that we have all these sources, they're just going to continue to, I guess, for lack of a better word, shun us, keep us in the shame bucket. It's like, no, this is all part of it becoming. And I feel like people have said in the last like 15 years, sex toys have come out of the closet, so to speak, right? Like, the boutiques are stocking them more visible, where you can see them and things like that. But it's still not enough, right? The amount of people that, and I'm not hating on online, but the amount of toys that are being purchased online, or like at Walmart, which again, it helps to get like that consumer demand, right? That it's not so taboo, but it's also there's not a lot of education. So people are maybe not having the experience that they're looking for, because we haven't gotten to that next step of like, no, walk into the store. It's not a dingy store, right? There's a lot of beautiful boutiques and a lot of people with a lot of information and knowledge and beautiful lights and clean stores. And people don't realize, they think, oh, if I walk into whatever store, if I'm walking into Pleasure Chest, everybody's going to think I'm a crazy. I got to park in the back or whatever. Right.
Well, and the thing is like, it's so hard to demystify all of it when you're getting kicked off TikTok. You can't do the Google ads, like all of that stuff. And I think, not everybody's so fortunate to live in a place that has like an awesome boutique that they can walk into, right? Like, I grew up in Rochester, New York, and it was only like 2 years ago that this shop called Medusa opened. And it's beautiful. It's bright. The folks who work there are like really educated, like doing really cool stuff. But it was 2 years ago that this opened. And of course, after they opened, there was like a zoning fight with the city, and they were trying to shut them down.
Even though they're like, I did all the paperwork, but okay.
Yeah. So there's like all these obstacles. And I just think people should be able to get access to this kind of information, education, these products, like all of this cool stuff that's happening out there.
Because then what happens? They go and learn it from porn, which, say it with me, people, is a performance. I'm not hating on the stars here or anything, but that's and they'll tell you too, that's not education, that's a performance.
Right. Yeah, my favorite quote, I think Jessica Drake said this. I could be misquoting. Love her. Oh my gosh. Love her so much. I credit her actually with changing my parents' view on sex work, because they went to her workshop and afterwards.
A great story.
Yeah, Woodhull used to run the Woodhull Sexual Freedom Summit, which is a 4-day event in Virginia, all about sexual freedom. And Jessica came a number of times, and she does this great workshop about sex work and porn and how it's an industry and it should be decriminalized and supported and all this stuff. And she's given workshops like this.
Forget me if I'm wrong. She's not the only one anymore, but she was the first one to turn kind of her artistic style in the porn industry into education.
Yeah, and advocacy. And she does like so much great work. And so she does this wonderful workshop, right?
Right. You want to hate her because she's beautiful and successful, but also she's still so down to earth. Like, I still see her at the shows, right? Yeah. She comes and hangs out with the pleasure products and wants to know what's happening. She goes everywhere. She's wanting to know about her community, and I love that.
Yeah, she's super invested. And my parents to this day still talk about that workshop, and they're just like, why is everybody so upset about it? Like, people should be able to do what they want to do, And so it amazes me, right? Because it's like, if you can put people in a space that's not judgmental, that's like shame-free, that's just like, hey, we're going to talk about this issue, I'm going to educate you, people really like have some really like aha moments, right? And some epiphanies and whatever. And it happens every single day in these adult boutiques. I used to work in one in Philadelphia, and people would come in all the time, and we would just have great conversations while I was, selling them a dildo or nipple clamps or whatever. And they would walk out feeling great because, hey, they have something new, sexy, fun to play with, but also like they were able to talk about these things. Is that your dog barking?
Yes. Yes.
They agree with me. They're like, yes. Say it louder.
say, well, I did, when this airs, everyone will know I did title this episode, "The Work Got Louder, So Did We," right? Because as you mentioned, the resources haven't quite been as accessible, even in companies like with what you do at Woodhull and everything. So it's just, we're working with what we got, but it's still okay. It's still okay to work with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? Like, there's no choice. We have to show up and do the work every day. And I say to people all the time, if I didn't think things could change, I wouldn't do this work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I would not show up and waste my time if I thought that this wasn't worth the effort. And
I'll do a clap, clap, clap here.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Not just for like, not
whatever.
Just for, what you mentioned and what you do, but like reminding any of the retail staff that might be watching this later, you have one of those interactions every day. I know anytime I go to a show, somebody's just, it lights up and it all makes sense. So you might not feel it. Your manager might not say it because there's other things, they're trying to manage the cash and keep the stuff going. But that is important. You've changed someone's, not just like mind, but like the trajectory of their relationship.
Yeah. And it's also advocacy. And that's the thing I think people don't get enough credit for is like, advocacy is, you've got the sign, you're at the protest, or, like me, I'm at the Capitol, I'm talking to policymakers, whatever. But advocacy,
no, it's not just being the loud picket fence person.
It's those conversations.
You got to back it up though, too, right? You need to be talking to your community. You need to know what the problems are. Nobody wants this stuff shoved in their face, right? We still, I mean, I guess I'll use the example and you can extrapolate. When they told us all to go get a shot, how did that go? Versus, I feel like, again, I'm not making the decisions. I'm not in politics. I think if you just given everybody the information and they could have chose their own choices, it might have gone differently. As someone who did get vaccinated, though, right? It was very like people felt like they were a child again. And I'm telling you what to do. And nobody likes that feeling, especially when it comes to the romantic relationships.
Right. People want to have autonomy. We want to you're an expert on yourself. Right? You know how your body works. You know how your brain works. You should be the ultimate arbiter, decision maker for what happens to or does not happen to your body. Right? Like that's kind of how I think about sexual freedom too. Right?
And that's perfect. You don't want things happening to you. Don't you want to live in your life?
Right. You want to make your own choices. And
I'm going to choose my choice.
Yeah. Like you just, and I want everybody to have the freedom to make good choices, bad choices, neutral choices, whatever. Right. Like that's what we're working for at Woodhull. And, it's gotten tougher. I was going to say how is, I feel like last time. So like, yay, happy meeting again after a year. We talked a lot about, some definitions and what, advocacy really means. What do you think's changed this year? What are you hearing from people? I mean, I'm sure it's a lot, but what's significantly different from last year? What's changed since last year? There's one giant elephant in the room, but we have a new presidential administration, and regardless of how you feel, of who you voted for, there's one simple fact that I think we've seen over and over again this year, and it's this like rollback on rights. It's this expansion of the government in such a way to impact people's everyday lives, right? Whether you're a person or not a queer person or a woman or a trans person or whatever, we've seen so much legislation that seeks to have so much power over everybody's decisions. We've also seen, and it's interesting, I just learned about this week. There's a great report that just came out from an organization called, it's not from me. I can't take credit for it.
No, but it's fine. I still, right? You share articles with people. This is good stuff, right?
And I will send you a link to this. It's called, I think the report is called Chokehold. It was put out by Free Press, which is a nonpartisan free press advocacy organization. And it's a report of all of the different instances of censorship in the past year, just since January 20th, 2025. And the thing that was most striking that I learned, this is a really fascinating statistic. They analyzed all these like news clippings, all these different things that came out, and they said in the last year, every 1.7 days, there was a different instance of censorship in the United States.
Wow.
And I'm like, so essentially every day and a half, there was a different kind of censorship happening. But I think the other thing that I've noticed, I mean, that's shocking in and of itself.
That is
right?
shocking. Like, it's like, you know it, but then to see the written report
it, like, in a number is like,
yeah.
What? But the thing I've noticed, and this is more like anecdotal, sort of like a climate thing, people are afraid to speak out now a lot more than they were a year ago. I think you've seen a lot more people who have had consequences like losing their job, or, had somebody be really mean to them online.
Yeah, my mom works for the government. She was like freaking out in October. Like, I don't know, even though I have a contract, I have no idea if I'm going to keep working.
Yeah. I mean, you have seen, I interviewed somebody from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, First Amendment organization. And he told me that in like the month after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, they had like more reports of people being fired for their comments about that situation than like they've ever had in the history of the organization. And they've been around for years.
Yeah.
And regardless of how you feel about that situation and that person, the First Amendment
is show.
Right. We're not going to get into that here. But to me, it's like, I feel like in America, we so hold this ideal like dear that we can say whatever, right? We have First Amendment rights. We have free speech. Like, we should be able to express ourselves and say our opinions. The modern version of that is being able to say whatever you want on social media, right? And I think what we've seen is really intense backlash and really tangible real life consequences when people speak out about things. And so people are
I know people that families have been torn apart because of politics, which just guts me because I'm old, and it was, hey, that's a secret ballot, right? Yep. You vote who you vote. And it does not seem that way anymore. It's almost like you can't be my friend if.
And it's really tough, and it's sticky situation like all around, right? But I think like just people being afraid to say these things, or people being afraid to like go out to a protest or whatever because of what could happen is, I think, the biggest change I've seen from last time you and I talked.
I mean, that's it's a pretty good representation, I would think.
Yeah. And, I'll be honest, even me, somebody who is like in advocacy, talking about sex all of the time, I've had moments, right, where I'm like, oh, like, and I'm not saying anything, I don't think I'm saying anything inflammatory publicly, but I've had moments of like, I don't know, is some government official going to see this and, I don't know, like put me on some watch list, or, it's
if you're not already on it, girl.
Well, yeah, that's true. I've said that. I have said that to my husband. I'm like, listen, if I wasn't on the watch list already, I'm definitely on it now. But, we've also seen a really coordinated attack against nonprofits, particularly nonprofits.
I'm glad you're bringing that up, right? I didn't even put it on the notes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, so there's been a couple executive orders that have come out, but there's been a really coordinated effort to attack what this presidential administration is calling like anti-American or like extremist ideas. And a lot of these ideas are related to people who support diversity, equity, and inclusion, which this administration does not, or people who support trans rights. There's this big push from this administration to attack what they think is like gender ideology. And so groups like Woodhull, who support trans and queer folks, would definitely fall into that category. And the way that these attacks are looking is, one, you've seen a huge slash in federal funding. We've seen this impact particularly organizations that do research. So a lot of universities have just like completely lost their funding, and literally like overnight, You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and then on my side of the desk, I couldn't even bid for the state of California, and I've been waiting for this year because
yeah,
there's no budget. They're not
yeah,
going to provide condoms. No,
yep.
not important. We over budgeted. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's California, right? That's like a
Yep.
quote unquote blue state. But the
Mhm.
thing that's happening is because federal funding has been slashed in such a way, states have to find a way to backfill what they used to be able to provide from the federal government. And so what you have happening is like states are stretched really, really thin because all of a sudden they don't have the support they had last year or whatever. And you know, I live in New York, and our governor has made a pledge to like try to backfill as much as they can, particularly when it comes to like reproductive justice planning, um and sex ed, right? Like Planned Parenthood has, I mean, this administration has just gone
Why is it poor
hard.
Planned Parenthood ends up getting the butt of everything?
Yeah. And the thing that really bothers me about that is like the amount of care that Planned Parenthood provides to people, right? It's like sex education, it's like breast exams, your OBGYN stuff,
No.
like,
Yeah, just because they happen to do things around your reproduction planning
yeah, yeah,
doesn't mean that that's the only people they service, right? Just because you
right.
have a space for trans, you're inclusive, doesn't
Yeah,
mean that I can't walk in and be like, I still need the same amount of help.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I remember like being in college and wanting to like get on birth control for the first time and being too afraid to talk to my parents. And I was like, well, I think I can go to the local Planned Parenthood. Like, I think that's a place that'll help me. And just the fact that these like vital services to our communities are being defunded in such a way, you know, we started our conversation
Like
talking about being,
sneaky
yeah,
defunding though, right?
yeah,
So people are just assuming Planned Parenthood and Woodhull and everybody else is getting their same stuff. And it's
no,
no,
no.
no.
And there's been an attack on the private philanthropy industry too, like of just,
Interesting.
you know, not necessarily legislatively, right? Because if you're a private foundation, you can spend your money however you want to
Yeah.
spend it. But there's been a
Raise it
lot
however
of,
you want to raise it. Yeah.
there's been a lot of like coordinated press attacks, particularly against like the Soros Foundation. You know, Soros gives billions and billions of dollars away. And I don't have any like skin in the game there, but, you know, they've been a frequent target of the presidents. And we've also seen this like very sort of sneaky threat against nonprofits' tax statuses, right? So people know when you donate to a nonprofit, you get a tax receipt. If you itemize your taxes, you can use that, right? And particularly if you're a business, if you're a corporation
No,
giving,
those things will
those
add
make a
up.
big difference. And the problem is if the IRS decides to revoke somebody's 501c3 status, you can't collect tax exempt donations anymore, which of course would have a huge impact on an organization's ability to fundraise. And so, you know, we haven't necessarily seen anybody's 501c3 status yanked yet, but there's been a lot of talk from this administration, a lot of executive orders that are sort of hinting that that's where they want to go. And so it's a really scary time because you've got things happening from like multiple directions, right? Of like you're maybe getting a lot less money from the federal government, so you're having to go elsewhere to find it and raise
Which
the
means your
money.
business is getting a lot less, right? Which
Yep.
means your employees get a lot less.
Yeah. And then there's like this sort of like looming threat of like, oh, maybe I'm going to take away your tax status or whatever. So it's really a very scary time. And so I tell people like, if there is a nonprofit in your life, I don't really care what it is. Like it doesn't have to be Woodhull, it could be anything. But if you've got some dollars to spare, like every nonprofit out there right now needs it. You
Suffering.
know,
Yeah.
we saw in November when the government was shut down, there was like all these issues around SNAP benefits. And so food banks were really, really struggling. And all of this stuff, like private nonprofits can't match what the federal government can do. You know, they help, right? They support our
Hey,
communities, but
remember the federal government gets all the money we pay in taxes.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they disseminate it.
Yeah. So, you know, I just say like this is the time where if you've got it and you can donate, you will make a huge difference, particularly if you can donate on like a monthly basis. You know how we pay our Netflix, our Spotify, whatever, $15 a month. If you can do that for your favorite nonprofit, it makes such a world of difference to know. You know, it's the same as a business, right? To know that there's certain income you can count on every month allows that nonprofit to do that much more of like the actual work, as opposed to like more time trying to raise the money to do the work.
Yeah, or more time getting stuck in the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So
only just a little bit of things going on this year.
Just a little bit. You know, it's been a slow news year. Been real chill.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on.
No,
yeah.
No. We can afford everything. It's all chill. La de da.
Yeah, it's tough out there. You know, I will say the one place we've seen some wins, because we got to give people some positivity.
Let's end on some good positive things here.
Let's end on some good things. A lot of these things a lot of these decisions this administration has made around censorship have been stopped by the courts. A lot of them. A lot of these executive orders have been stopped at multiple different levels. And, you know, I'm really encouraged by the fact that despite all of the fear and scary stuff happening, people are still showing up. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at, again, regardless of how you feel, the No Kings protests in October, the number of people that came out and like marched and were like, we're gonna exercise our right to assemble, was amazing. Just the sheer scale of it, right? And so what that tells me is that like people are stepping up and taking care of their communities. And it's not the news you're going to see on the 6 o'clock national news every night.
That's a whole other study session on propaganda, people.
Yeah. But it's happening. And so I do feel encouraged by the way that I see people stepping up, helping their neighbors.
The wheel of time will continue, and it is continuing, but hopefully the momentum is in a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Life goes on despite it all. Like we're still living, we're still breathing, and we're still doing the thing.
I love it.
You know, listen, I've started at my first meetings for my trips to Albany. Next session starts in January. We're getting ready.
So let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
I will. Yes, I definitely, that is helpful, because I never quite know when the next piece of legislation is going to pop up or which state is going to start behaving badly. And so it's always good to know I've got people, allies in certain places that I can say, hey, you know, your politicians are getting a little out of control there.
Right, because a lot of times people don't know. They're living there, or they're doing their work, they're doing whatever they need to do, and then, you know, we all have to sleep and still eat. Like, so I don't just automatically go home and be like, now news.
Yeah. And listen, we've got the bill tracking. We're watching it. We're looking at stuff all over the country. And so there was a couple times this year where we sent out different like alerts based on particular states. So you never know when I might be popping into your inbox to say, hey.
Oh no, and if you got stuff, if you're working on things, I mean, I don't have a big audience yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't spark, you know, inspiration however you can.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know, and we do a ton of free education programming. If you look up Woodhull Freedom Foundation on YouTube, everything's there. It all has ASL interpretation.
Oh no, it's really great. I meant to talk about it. We'll do a whole other session on that education stuff, because I lost a couple hours being like, oh, this is nice.
Good. I mean, it's there for you. Our social media, like we want people to have the information. And so we try to make it as available and as accessible as possible for folks.
And that's so kindred to my heart. You know, I'm just going to say it. If you didn't know, somehow it's hard to sell condoms. You know, you would think it's an easy sell, but the way that the bias is in everybody's brain now has been a little bit challenging. So like, I understand that, like, you know, even in my own industry, I was like, hey, do you, like, I got extra samples. Do you want some? I was like, oh, I don't, or I never, or it's like, I don't even know how to use one. I'm like, and you're in the industry, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm just kind of like, this is what we're working with. So I would love it if some of those, you know, misconceptions were gone, but they're not.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you ever have extra condoms, we will take them
Oh
because
my goodness, my Paradise condom is ready. It finally got released. That's a whole other story from the FDA. It's basically it's a lifestyle ultra thin. But it's like a 10-cent condom for everybody. So like people
awesome.
that can sell single condoms or like even out of the bowl, sell that thing for $2.99. It's not a lot of margin, but you sell a bunch of them all day long. There you go.
Absolutely. That's great.
There you go.
I'm so glad to hear that.
We do my rapid fires. Yeah. And then remind you, I'll send you a picture of our cuteness. And then, this is good. If I've got short dated stuff, which I need to do a report, like, just send to New York.
I'll take it.
So this is just the fun part. Someday I'm going to make fun reels of all these people where I just ask them random questions. Like, don't think too much, but I haven't done it yet.
This is like the end of Amy Poehler's podcast when she's like, okay, are you ready for the
This is perfect. Then I'm like, yay. Let's do it. I'm going to invest. No, I'm going to go be interested. I'm going to go look. What is one sentence that you wish everybody understood about sexual freedom? What's the motto? Like if I needed to tattoo it on me, what is the motto?
It's your right to do whatever you want or don't want to do with your own body.
I feel like it's the same stuff I have to tell my kids. Keep your hands to yourself, but also other people don't need to be putting hands on you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What gives you hope on the days that it feels really heavy right
now? People showing up, people around me, people in my life continuing to show up despite all of it.
And books.
Well, yeah, books like just feed my soul. And
I'd be a lot crazier without them people.
Yeah, you know what keeps me going too is my first sip of coffee every morning.
Ah, the ritual.
Yes.
That's
maybe it doesn't give me hope, but the fuel, hey, America truly does hope. Run on Dunkin'.
Time to make more donuts. What is the most underrated way someone can support your mission without like a whole big budget?
Like and share my posts on Instagram.
There you go. See, we got to trick the algorithms. They need it.
100%.
If you could myth bust one headline, like that misconception right now, what would it be?
Oh my God, one.
I mean, maybe a couple, but at least one.
Okay, I'm gonna be somewhat
I don't have advertisers or anything, so it's just literally my show. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so one myth I'd really love to bust is that this government believes in and fights for free speech in the First Amendment. It's a lie.
It's always kind of been.
Yeah.
It's free, but it's not.
And I'm gonna send the report to you, and people can read.
See this report.
They can read the facts.
You know what? I miss doing it now because I'm like not in school where you had to just like take a headline and parse out the data and make a story with that. Like, so it'll be a fun exercise for me because I don't get to do that as much anymore. But also, it's important.
You can bust out the highlighters and the Post-it notes.
I did just get new ink, so I can print it and everything. And you can send that to your Kindle.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Right. You can send PDF to your Kindle when you don't want to like have to print it or like you're on the go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that.
See? This is why we have the conversations because like, honestly, the best things I ever learned I learned them in a weird conversation.
Yeah.
Right. There's some sort of hack someone has. I think that was it.
Is that it for my rapid fire?
That's like where you're at. I guess I'll do one more. What's your favorite on the go snack when you're super busy and you got back-to-back calls?
Uncrustables.
Ooh,
100%.
That's a new one. Oh
my gosh. Oh, I always have a box of Uncrustables in my freezer.
No one has said Uncrustables on my show right now. Dude.
Trailblazer.
Yes, look at you in so many ways. So somehow we talked for 54 minutes already. I don't even know how that happened.
That's all and that was just the recording. We talked for like 20 minutes before that even started.
I better let you go. But seriously, watch out, guys. Next year, this could be education and book talking. Who knows? As we close, this is your shameless plug time. And just if you wanted to leave another piece of wisdom, so many good isms I'm stealing from you today. But if you wanted to leave another one with the audience, what would you like them to know?
I want them to know we're here. We exist. We're here to fight for you. Woodhull Freedom Foundation. We're at Woodhull Freedom on all social channels. And I also want to hear from you. So if there's a sexual freedom issue you're concerned about, please reach out to us. Mandy@woodhullfoundation.org is my email.
I'll put it in a pretty banner when I clip this.
That's awesome. Yeah. So please reach out to us. Our website's a wealth of information. And I want to be here to support folks however we can.
I love that. So if you're struggling, if you have any questions, you're not quite sure, okay, what is the best way to like, what's the nomenclature here? I know a lot of it has changed for some people. What's the best way to navigate some of this age verification stuff that I'm starting to see, or whatever, right? Here's a nice juicy vein for you.
Yeah.
We will call Mandy and she can help. This is what she does all day.
Yep, it is. And we have a website, or we have a form on our website where you can like request a speaker. If there's something specific you want, I can show up to a Zoom room, I can show up in person, like whatever is helpful to people. We want to be supportive.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming and being supportive. You're like my favorite bra today. So supportive.
I love it. That might be my favorite thing I've ever been called, you know?
My favorite bra. So supportive.
Yeah. It's going to be in my
chafing. No chafing.
It's going to be in my Instagram bio. It's going to be like, Mandy Salley, your favorite bra, the most supportive.
So supportive.
I should get that like put on a bra and sell it. Like,
I think you should. Should we get merch for our book talking soon, right? Oh my goodness.
I mean, I think we need to.
I think we need to. Okay, I'm ending. Well, thanks so much for coming, guys. Happy all the holidays, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Hope you loved it. Isn't she the best?